You're listening to DTFHN for March 2nd, 2026. I'm your thermodynamically inevitable host, Jack Hacksman. We are your daily tech feed for Hacker News, a website where people who build things argue about how things should be built. Today's a day for old tools, stubborn principles, and the quiet craft of refusing to overcomplicate. Let's get into it. Let's talk about what happens when you give an AI a sandbox and nobody tells it to clean up after itself. Anthropic's Cowork feature. The thing that lets Claude Desktop actually run code on your machine. Spins up a full Linux virtual machine every time you use it. That VM lives at a lovely little path buried in your library folder, and it grows to 10 gigabytes. 10. For context, that's larger than a fresh install of most Linux distributions. And it never gets cleaned up. You delete it, it comes back the next day, like a digital cockroach with a 10 gig appetite. Now, the fundamental engineering constraint here is real and worth understanding. If you're going to let an AI generate and execute arbitrary code on someone's computer, you need isolation. A VM sandbox is genuinely the right architectural call. You don't want Claude writing Python that accidentally nukes your home directory. The sandbox is the safety net. Full stop. Good decision. But here's where the execution falls apart. The person who filed this issue is running 8 gigs of RAM. 8, and the VM is consuming 10 gigs of disk that the system then tries to cache, swap against, and generally trip over. Within minutes of launching, CPU usage climbs from 24% at idle to 55%. Swap activity ratchets up continuously. The renderer process alone is eating a quarter of the CPU doing nothing. This is a memory leak wearing a trench coat and pretending to be a feature. The workaround is beautiful in its brutality. Quit the app, nuke the VM bundle, nuke the cache, nuke the code cache. You get 75% better performance immediately. Then it degrades again within minutes, because the leak is in the running process, not just the disk artifact. One commenter from Anthropic confirmed they're aware and working on cleanup mechanisms. Fair enough. But the pattern here is worth naming. This is what happens when you ship power tools without resource guardrails. The VM sandbox is correct. Letting it silently consume 10 gigs on an 8 gig machine with no warning, no cleanup, no resource limits. That's treating disk space and RAM like they're free. They are not free on the machines real people actually own. The irony isn't lost on anyone that Anthropic employees reportedly use Claude Code to develop Claude Code. The snake is eating its own tail, and the tail weighs 10 gigabytes. What would good look like? Configurable VM size limits, automatic cleanup after sessions end, a warning before allocating more disk than your system has RAM, basic resource hygiene, the kind of thing you'd catch immediately if you tested on hardware that wasn't a 64 gig dev machine. The capability is genuinely impressive. A sandbox